Well, let's now bring in Saylor from the Council on American-Islamic Relations. He also joins us live from Washington, D.C. Good to have you with us on the programme. What do you think you understand by the term extreme vetting when it comes to foreigners entering the United States? It had been touted earlier as being a complete ban on Muslims. Do you think that's what it's going to end up being?
I think extreme vetting in this case essentially translates to targeting Muslims. When you look at the leaked executive order, the language of it contains a lot of things that are buzzwords in the Islamophobic community. So this executive order looks like a gift to anti-Muslim elements in the United States and not actual security, because it's security theater.
What effect is that going to have on the Muslim population that are already in the United States? Presumably it's their relatives that will have trouble getting into the country.
Well, as you were talking about in your lead-in, it's effectively the beginning of the Muslim ban. So there's a tremendous amount of anxiety, not just among Muslims, but a number of different minorities in this country. And certainly this executive order is going to raise that level of anxiety. And it also just sends a terrible message to our allies in the rest of the world. One of the countries on the list was Iraq. We have a number of people in Iraq who loyally fought beside the United States forces, who have done a number of great things for our country, and our reward to them right now is to say, sorry, but you can't come here.
What support, if any, are the Muslim population of the United States getting at this time? We all knew that in a Donald Trump administration that things were going to get a lot tougher for immigrants, for refugees, and for American Muslims in the States. Has there been any sort of support given to those people? Are there people coming out in support and saying this is wrong, this shouldn't be happening?
So that's where you really see the face of America as many of us understand it. Since the election, there has been tremendous support for American Muslims and the other minorities that were targeted by Trump during his campaign and are now being targeted by the Trump administration. And I think that the Trump administration is going to find that while they wield the pen right now, ultimately the people in the United States wield the power. He did not win the election with a majority of voters supporting him, and that's going to show more and more as his presidency goes forward. So the support has been tremendous, coming from a large number of people around the United States.
From his perspective, he says he's sworn to do everything he can to protect the people of the United States. He says this is a necessary executive order, that it will stop, quote, radical Islamics, foreign terrorists coming into the country. If you were speaking to him, what would you say to him?
I would say this is pure security theater. The executive order does not ban people from Saudi Arabia, where most of the 9/11 hijackers came from. Richard Reed, the shoe bomber, has a mixed UK-French background. It doesn't do anything about that. It only names a certain very few countries. So it's intended as a gift to anti-Muslim supporters of Trump. And the best thing that he can do to make sure this country is safe and secure is make sure that we project our values. This week, with the Muslim ban and the wall, what we've been projecting is we're getting ready to melt down the Statue of Liberty, turn it into bricks, and use it to build a wall on our southern border, which will be a memorial to racism. And banning Muslims from around the world essentially says to the large number of people who have stood by the United States in its conflict with the devils of ISIS and Al-Qaeda that their faith is to blame, not extremist elements.
All right, we wait to see exactly what the executive order does mean. Saylor, good to have you with us. Thanks so much.